If you want to run Google ads nowadays, you're gonna need a landing page. Google is getting more and more expensive, the clicks are getting more and more competitive, and you need to compensate by having a very, very high conversion rate. And you need to stay ahead with that conversion rate by continuously testing, split testing your landing page, seeing what competitors are doing, and just making it better and better over time. Because your homepage is not good enough. I'm sorry to say, but it is not. There's too many things going on, there's distractions, there's other services. So now that we understand why we should make a landing page, let's talk about how to make it. Making a landing page is actually really simple, but making a great landing page is obviously incredibly hard. Let's jump right into how, the principles of making a good landing page. I'll show you exactly how I would do that later, step by step. And also we're going to cover what tools I use to make landing pages quicker and easier, and show you exactly how to do all that yourselves. There are 4 critical things to a landing page, the first one being traffic. So you need to understand who is going to land on this page. I mean, that's the entire point of it. For example, if you're running ads on Google for people looking for domestic solar panel installations, you know this traffic is looking for solar panels, so you need to build a page around it. And this brings us to number 2, relevance. The hero section of your page needs to be immediately relevant to the user. The hero section being, it's this area of the page, it's the very top. It is what everyone sees when they first click on your ad and load your website. In fact, the only part of your website that most people will ever see. And we're going to cover how to make an amazing hero section later, but for now let's move on. Number 3 is the selling points. So after your hero section, the rest of your website is basically explaining why you should buy. So you established relevance to the traffic, that's your first 2, and now it's time to actually convince someone to buy. So that's the rest of the website. In the middle section of your website, you basically introduce yourself, you give a few bullet points and benefits to why they should use you, and ideally you have one of the 2 sections in particular that I love, and that's either a comparison section where you compare yourself against a concept of a competitor, and my other favorite section is a video testimonial. They're always good, people always love them, and it's better than, I think, written reviews or anything like that. And we're going to do a deep dive into this section later, and we're going to finish up with number 4, which is a very clear call to action. So there's ways to do calls to actions right and wrong. Generally just about clarity. So you don't want your page covered in calls to action, because that's just a little bit silly. So we're going to cover calls to actions a bit later, don't worry about that. But it needs a very clear call to action. It needs to be very obvious and involve very little thought. What should they be doing? Should it be a form? Call a number, go to checkout, you get it. But it also should be clear what happens after they do the call to action. So if it's a product, obviously it will ship to you. If it's a form, well, you could get an email, you could get a call. That needs something clear as well. So those are the 4 critical aspects of your landing page and how it should be structured. Seems quite simple, but now it's time to build a landing page. So we're actually gonna go and build a landing page together, and we're gonna see what kind of works, what doesn't, just go through it. But before we do that, we need to figure out where the landing page, where do we put the landing page? Where does it go? The first thing we can decide is where to host it. Well, it might seem initially very obvious to you, host it on my website, obviously. Well, no, it's more complicated than that. I host my landing pages on external service like a landing page builder. So there are 3 main reasons why I do this, and it might apply to you, it might not. An external landing page builder is going to be a different website hosted on a different server, which is, I mean, ideally the tool is particularly well suited to making landing pages. So we'll have extra tools just to get them out faster and do that better job getting them out faster. But also have various other tools like split testing, all that sort of stuff that you'd have to do manually, or find plugins and stuff for on forms like Wix or WooCommerce, or WordPress. So yeah, landing page builder would be a niche specific tool made for building landing pages. There's a couple of them out there, but we're gonna go into them in a minute. Why would you use a landing page builder? Well, firstly, there is faster loading time. Generally, if your website takes longer than 2 or 3 seconds to load, you should not be putting your landing pages on your website, because you're gonna lose traffic, people are gonna bounce really quickly. 3 seconds is a bit too much for a lot of people to stomach, and you're just gonna be missing out on leads and stuff, so it's not good. And in this video, I'm gonna be using a landing page builder as well. We're gonna be using my favorite landing page builder, which is LEADPAGES. There are other landing page builders out there, but this is by far my favorite one, and it's my favorite tool. I've recommended to a lot of people, and I have an affiliate link below if you want to test it out for 14 days. But as mentioned, you can also use your own website builder and just make a new page. If you're using Wix, WordPress, or similar, you can just follow along, but keep in mind you might not have the same tools in the same places, that type of thing. So it might look different, but ultimately you're gonna have vaguely a similar set of tools to do things with. So you can get similar results. Hello folks, so now it's time to build our actual landing page. So we're going to need an example. So we're going to make an example page for a main based like solar panel company, installation company, and we're going to pretend that they're doing this landing page to drive traffic from keywords like solar installer near me, solar panel installer near me main, solar panel installation company's main, that type of thing. So that's what we're going to be building today. This is my little demo account I made just for this, and you can create a new landing page here and select a solar panel template. So again, as I mentioned, we're going to be using LEADPAGES for this one, where you can use your own website, just make a new page under it. When you make a new landing page in LEADPAGES, you get to select from a bunch of templates. This is one of them. This is the solar panel quotation template. I've not changed anything here. We're going to use this template and we're going to change the copy and everything on this page to make it a high conversion website. Firstly, let's have a look around really quick. So you can see this is the editor. It's kind of easy to use. If you use the editor before, you'll know exactly how this works. And here we have this interesting LEADPAGES thing that I like, and that's particularly why I recommend it. It gives you really good suggestions, the kind of standard practices that you want on your landing pages. But let's disregard that and actually start working and looking at the landing page and what we can do to make it a really, really high conversion landing page that is getting like, 20, 30, maybe even 40% conversions on Google. Right out of the box, this is quite a decent landing page. We have all the type of sections and areas that we really need. It needs work. So let's get into it. So firstly, the header is fine. It doesn't distract people, doesn't lead to other sections of the website. All it has is a call us, which is fine. We like that. So the header is good to go. Now for the hero section. The hero section is this part of the website right here. Most people will not scroll any further than this, so we have to make it quite good. And there's a few issues straight off the bat. Firstly, this image is kind of worthless to us. So we're like a local main installer company. We're trying to get local traffic. This doesn't scream main to me at all. It screams like a generic image. So we're going to go here to edit that away. The way this hero section is set up is we have what it seems like to be just a square blank image with a transparent section to it. And as we scroll, there's parallax. So I believe is in here. Yes, so this is their actual background. This is the background for the entirety of the page. It's just a parallax one. So we just want to change that. So I just got an image here that is far more reminiscent of Maine. This is a type of house you'd see. This is a little forest, and it's going to be a lot nicer looking like this. Now we're going to have to edit it around a little bit. Okay, so I just gone ahead and made this image where I just added a little bit of white space to make it a bit longer so that it fits into here. Now, if I was LEADPAGES, this is not how I would set up this landing page, where the entire page background is the hero section image, because this makes it a little convoluted, but it works fine, and we have the perfect parallax here. So that's cool, that's fun. And we have a much more main looking image. It doesn't even have to be the highest quality. Again, you're kind of like a local place, and people like that. So they want to see things nearby, and I don't have any rights to this image whatsoever. So ideally, it is the actual company, the solar company that's providing the image. We might have like a van of solar energy solutions here, that type of thing. But yeah, this is way better. The next thing we need to focus on is the title. The headline is not very good. I don't like it. It's quite poor. We don't want people just fishing for quotes. This isn't a page trying to tell you how much solar panels cost. It's a page that's trying to get you a PV quote, a solar PV quote. So this is a poor headline, and it's not what the traffic we're targeting is looking up either. So it's not very good. The people are looking for a local solar panel installer, so we have to change it. Let's change it to Maine's top rated solar installer. And then we can make the solar installer blue. The subtitle is fine. So get a free guaranteed quote on purchase and installation. That's fine. Now the button is not. So the button, what the button does is it puts a pop-up with a quote. Now we don't actually want that. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to jump to the bottom of the page. Bottom of the page will have a lead form, and we want the lead form at the bottom so that people who are still maybe unsure or whatever can just easily scroll up a little bit and see some of our selling points. That's why you want it at the bottom. So let's go to the next section. Now this section is all right, but again, the image, it doesn't scream of a local company. It doesn't tell me much of anything about who you are or what you're really doing. It's just a generic stock photo. Any sort of local service page or anything like that, you want to avoid stock images like the plague. So we're going to replace it with this because we already have an image. That doesn't look good. So let's edit it to make it. So we're going to click right here and then just crop it to a square format. All right, and let's use that instead. All right, lovely. So now we have a much more local image. This looks so much better. The next thing we want to do is remove the button. We don't. You already have a button here. Like, you don't need another. You don't want to spam the user with calls to actions. So this is fine. And we go to this section of here's how it works. So this is one of my favorite sections on any sort of local landing page or anything like that, is showing the user exactly what is going to happen when they fill out the form and what the process looks like of getting the service or receiving the service, or what you will have to do. So in this case, it only goes from filling. So if you look at the steps here, it only goes from filling out a form to getting you a quote. We actually would want to go beyond that to, oh, our team goes and installs your panels, and then you can save energy. Step 5 is you're happy, you're saving energy, you're saving this amount per month or whatever. So this is not ideal, but we're going to keep it as is. Now, if you go to the next section, you can see that it broke. Well, it didn't break. What we did is, because in this hero section, this image is the page background. So again, the page background is here. This kind of sucks for us. Now this looks quite poor. So what we can do is just edit the image to make it more of a background image, maybe add blue or whatever. Or we could just change the background color of the section. So again, go here, edit the section settings, and then change the background color to, let's say, purple for now. All right, now this looks bad because not the brand colors, but let's just change it to the brand colors. All right, that's a bit too blue. So we're gonna change that yet again. Too light. I'm not a colors guy, believe it or not. Maybe a darker blue. That is fine. All right, lovely. So now we have basically a benefits section, and we're going to work on this a little bit. This section is very weird. It looks nice, but it doesn't really make sense. So the first box is why switch to solar. We don't want this anywhere on our landing page. Again, keep in mind the traffic. The traffic is very important. We are getting people who already know what solar is. They know they want solar and they're looking for installers, okay? There's no place on this page for why switch to solar energy, what is solar energy, etc. That's just a waste of real estate. We're targeting people who are already aware of that. If we wanted a page which is about why you should switch to solar, that would be completely different traffic and a completely different landing page. So we need to get rid of this, firstly. We should switch to something like fast servicing times. And let's remove the question mark. If your solar panels break, unlike other companies, we can send a certified installer to resolve issues in less than 2 weeks. All right, so now we have something that makes much more sense. Now let's move to the next box. How much does it cost? Now this section is fine, but let's just change this little line to be most home installations cost less than $15,000. All right, and now what else is required? What else is required is really odd. This doesn't make much sense at all. So we're gonna change it to installation time. So it's gonna be fast installation time. It takes our team 2 weeks to go from a quote to having panels installed on your house. All right, so now these make sense and we can move on to the next section, the testimonial section. Now the testimonial section here is fine, but ideally we have either a video testimonial, which would be the best by far, or just some pictures of Google reviews, because that's a bit more genuine. But this would do completely fine for this landing page. We have 2 more sections with 2 more benefits. The first is clarifying you can walk away from a quote, which is all right, and that you don't pay a consultation fee or anything like that, which is fine, especially if other people in the industry are doing it, where they're charging for consultations or from quotes. Again, we have issue with the image. It looks very, very stock imagey. So for me, I'd change it, but that one I think is fine. So we can keep this image in particular. And now we have low interest financing available. So this is another section of just 2 benefits. We're going to remove the calls to action because, like, at this point the user will, if they're this far down the page, they are going to scroll to the very bottom. No pressure or commitment. So now we have the low interest financing. So these are, again, the 2 kind of things on the bottom that you have. And This one's about interest financing. This is good to let someone know they have an option. It's another benefit. It's another selling point to use their company over another one. And say you should be very, very wary about financing on solar panels, especially depending on the interest rate. Your interest rate could be higher than the amount you're saving from the solar panels. And then you're kind of just losing money overall. So that's not great. But assuming those are truly low interest rates, then this is a-okay to have on your website. And now we have, again, another section broken. So we're going to edit section settings and make it our deep blue. All right, that looks good. So see if solar is right for you, schedule your free no obligation consultation or get a quote. Now this is great, but what we want to do instead is have a form here. So we want here, instead of a button or a pop-up, is a form. All right, and we're going to edit this form to match what we want. So, okay, so let's add our fields now to the form. So we want someone's first name. That's fine, and this should be required. Let's add last name, and that should be also required. If you are in Europe or certain states, you're required to gather consent. Well, I'm just used to adding it, so we're going to add it. And then what we want is to just send it to a thank you page, or you could send it to your main website to have a further look around and see what's up. You're gonna see the leadometer has changed here. So now LEADPAGES has told me more than 3 form fields. The more information you ask for, the less likely a visitor is to opt in. Try keeping your form fields down to the bare minimum. Now this is true. So if it was just email and name, a lot more people would sign up. But the issue is the quality of the leads will be lower. So this is a very much a sliding scale of, yes, that is true. If you had less form fields, less people would sign up, but you are qualifying the lead more. If they are bothered to type in their address, they're going to be a more interested lead. That just makes sense. So that is true, but in this case, this is not an opt-in form. We're not just looking for emails, we're looking for actual leads. So if this was like a, oh, get your free solar panel how-to brochure, then yes, you would want the least amount of forms possible. But for a lead, we want a qualified one, we want a good one. We will gladly sacrifice the number of leads for higher quality ones. Incorrect use of in-page form. For the best result, try using pop-ups for all your incentive offers. This is an incentive offer. This is actually our lead. So again, LEADPAGES is true here, but not in this scenario, unfortunately. So we're going to just edit it to look a little nicer. Things stand out and be a bit clearer. I think that's good enough. It's very clear what you're meant to be doing. Now this is a chunky lead form, but again, we want qualified leads, so this chunky one is actually what we want. Okay, and now we have issue at the bottom with these 2 sections. Is we're going to flat color them again. Isn't this lovely? So now we basically finish our landing page and we can run traffic to it and be certain that our conversion rate will be quite high. We know we've checked all the boxes of traffic, relevance, we have our selling points here, and we have our call to action. So this landing page will convert amazingly for a solar panel company in the main. If you want to check out LEADPAGES, I have a link down below where you can have a 2-day free trial. It is an affiliate link. And if you want to check out more or learn more about advertising or advertising for real estate, anything like that, you can check out my channel or go onto my website. See ya.